In this video, I'm going to share with you how I've implemented into my high school science classroom Poll Everywhere. I had my students complete 3 polls, all centered around climate change. Now, if this is not the science topic that you want to delve into, you can change the polls however way you like to make it fit with your student needs. Why did my 3 polls center around climate change? Earlier this year, I released 3 heat labs, all centered around, the name implies it, heat. The first of these 3 heat labs centered around the heat of fusion. The question that my students were trying to answer was, how much energy does it take to melt ice? Check the video, linked above, if you wish to receive the resources associated with these heat labs. Before I wanted my students to delve into that first heat lab, I had the following question for them. When will climate change impact life on Earth? Tough one. Let's see how that question looks like when they log into Poll Everywhere. The first step is to log into Poll Everywhere, and you can use your Google account to make that very easy. Once you're logged in, you can create your own activity. What you see here is that I've already created several activities that I've tried out with my students. The activities centered around climate change, I've organized them in a folder. Let's open that folder. And let's check out the first of 3 polls that I did with my students. When will climate change impact life on Earth? I gave them 5 options, ranging from it will never impact life on Earth to climate change is already happening. And all that students really have to do is go to the following website. Yes, they can use their cell phones as well, but if you prefer them to use their Chromebook or laptop instead, this is your option. Since I don't have my class right in front of me at the moment, I will log in from my other email account. I will show you what it looks like when you submit a response. Using my other email account, I've logged into this particular poll. I'm ready to answer. If we scroll through the choices, you can see that my response was, climate change is already happening. And as more and more students respond, you can actually keep a tally of how many have completed the question. And since it was just me responding, we only see the value of 1. How to insert a poll everywhere into your Google Slides. I assume it works similarly for PowerPoint. Check it out. All you do is add the Chrome extension for Poll Everywhere. You will then notice a Poll Everywhere tab in your Google Slides. You can then log in and insert your poll into your Google slideshow by clicking Insert Slides. The default slide is the following bar diagram. Successfully inserted the slide. Voila, there it is. Since all my chemistry students answered option E for this particular question, I basically turned it back to them. What might be a better, a more challenging question for you when it comes to climate change that I can perhaps ask you later or maybe for my next year's class? We had a great discussion, but the 2 questions that stood out most to me was the following. Which organisms will be impacted most by climate change? Followed by which organisms will be impacted least by climate change? Since I had this discussion with my chemistry students, but this set of polls can easily be implemented in your earth science or biology class, I checked ChatGPT for some reasonable responses. Organisms that are affected most by climate change are our coral reefs, polar bears, amphibians, and seabirds. And ChatGPT gave some nice feedback as to why these organisms are more affected by climate change. The follow-up question, which organisms are affected least by climate change? Here are 5 categories that these organisms fall under, including weedy species, so-called generalist species, microorganisms, invasive species, and species with large geographic ranges. So I've shared with you 3 different polls that I did with my students, how to log into Poll Everywhere, how to implement it into your Google slideshow through Chrome extension, and how to get help from ChatGPT to basically come up with some answers as to the 3 poll questions and have more of a discussion centering around climate change. Again, you can use Poll Everywhere for whatever question you wish to ask your science students. Again, if you are interested in these resources, including other resources that I've created videos for, check the description below this video. It will take you to my landing page, and in exchange for your email, Astrid's science resources can be yours to use. The Polls Everywhere slides that I used here are embedded in the heat labs, if you wish to use these exact 3 questions. Thank you very much for watching. Bedankt voor het kijken. See you in the next video. Tot ziens!